Hi, this is Teresa from Teresa's Crafty Cabana. Welcome to my channel. I've got some new subscribers and I wanted to welcome all of you. In this video, I wanted to show you a little bit of a different variation of using perfect pearls on the Gelli Plate. I wanted to use these stencils that have mountain scenes and some tree-lined scene and a little bit of grass scene. So these are from A Colorful Life Designs. It's an online website only, and these come like a two-part, so each of the stencil has a bottom part. This one's called the tree edger, and then they have the top part of it, so you can stencil either the top or the bottom, which is a really cool thing, and they match up perfectly because I think they were just split. And then the different techniques that you can do with these, it's really cool to see what the design looks like when you're done. And you can change it up by changing the colors. You could change it with the way that you angle these mountain scenes. This one is a really cool, almost like a valley. And then the mountain scene you can layer in front of it or behind it. So there's just a lot of options with these little stencils, and they're really fun. So for this print, I'm going to use the, start with this little valley edger. And you can see in the Gelli Plate, it's actually suctioning the stencil to it. So that'll keep it so that the perfect pearls don't really get underneath it as much. So then when I'm doing this, I'm making like a little sun in the center here. It just kind of lended itself to that, and I'm going to make a little sky background for this top part. So I'm going to use the blue, and I'm going to be careful not to mix the blue and the yellow so I don't get green, but I do bring the blue right up to about where the border of the sun is, and then just making sure that I cover a lot of the top part with the blue, just to make sure it's going to have a nice shine to it when I put the paint over the top of it and pull the print. I just didn't want to have spaces that were left unpainted. So here, this is how I kind of extend my stencil. You can see it doesn't fit the whole length of the stencil, so I just kind of pick a spot that sort of matches where I left it off, and I just kind of continue the mountain scene in this way. So after I'm done making the sky part of this, I took one of these mountain edgers. This one's called Mountain Edger 1. And I'm gonna just lay it right in the center, but leaving a little gap between the two mountain edges. And then for this one, I'm gonna start with my purple. And the purple I'm bringing towards the bottom. It has a little bit of the blue. I didn't clean my brush, so the blue is a little left over from the sky. I ended up liking how that looked, the blue and the purple, so I mixed a little bit more of it here. And then I was just bringing that purple almost to the top of where the mountain caps are, but I didn't go all the way up just yet because I wanted to bring in the white perfect pearl and make it look like a little bit of snow was on the mountain caps here. So this is what I'm using the other side of that stencil, the opposite side of the stencil on this part here. And then that keeps it from getting to the sky part. So just blending that out, and I'm blending it with the purple. Now the stencil doesn't stick to the gel plate once you have the perfect pearls on there. So you will probably see it moving around a little bit on me, and that's why I have to hold it at this point. The bottom one, obviously that one's sticking, you can see it sticking, but that top one doesn't stick anymore just because the perfect pearls are on the gel plate there. I made a little mess here. That's okay. Nothing a little craftiness can't fix. In the end, I don't think it was noticeable. So now for the next part of this mountain scene, I wanted to give it a little bit of a difference in color, so I used my pink for this next part. And instead of doing the white mountain caps for this one, I just went all pink. So as I'm going along, I'm increasing the amount of pigment where it was a little bit too light, blending out where I need to. And then for this part, I have this tree-lined stencil called Tree Line Edger 3. This one I'm going to put in the foreground of the mountains. And I wanted this one to have kind of a golden tone to it. I also liked this color because it blended in with that pink color nicely, so they just kind of work well together when I blended them out. There's a little extra pigment on the gel plate there, but that's okay because I am just going to use it over here on this part of the design. The next part I'm going to do is a more of a golden color, but not the pure gold. It's kind of like a goldish orange color. And I'm going to do that one just as the actual trees. You can see the stencil sliding around a little bit on this one. But I think once the gel plate picks up the color from in the sticky part of it, once you layer over them, they still keep that a little bit of that definition. So I didn't find that really mattered much. So I had made one of these, before I made this one, I made another print of this, and I did it with black paint in the background, and it turned out really cool, really dramatic, I would say. And then this print, I wanted to do the white behind it to see how much different it would look than having the black in the background. This is the little grass piece here, so I'm using green for this piece. wanted to have a darker green for this next layer, and I didn't have another color of green in the Perfect Pearls, so I mixed some of the blue and the green together. The last color that I wanted to bring in, oh yeah, I wanted to make a little blue river. So I just brought the blue all the way down at a little bit of an angle. And then I wanted to bring in a little bit of gold at the very bottom of this scene, just to kind of make it look like it had some golden hues down here in the grassy area. So this is what the Perfect Pearls, I'm finished adding them, what the design looks like. There are some chunky pieces left on here, so I did end up brushing off all of that extra dust or pearl powder. I wanted to have a nice smooth surface before I added my paint, so all of those kind of chunky bits in between the trees and the mountain scenes, I just brushed all of those off. So here's the white that I'm going to add. I didn't add enough white this first run, so I had to add a little bit more white. I did want to have an even coating all the way across this because you'd need it to be fairly sticky in order for all of that paint and the Perfect Pearls to come up on your piece of paper. And you do want to see the scene through it a little bit, just like this. I could probably have even gone a little bit of a thinner coat of paint, but this happened to work out pretty nicely. I did let it rest for 5 minutes so that the paint could dry to the paper. And this white one, as compared to the black one, which I'll show you in a little bit, this white one looked very dreamy, really cool. And you can see that it did leave behind on the Gelli Plate almost like another ghost print amount of Perfect Pearls. So that's, I'm gonna do one more print on top of that. But this one turned out really nice. The colors are so pretty, and they have kind of like a dreamy look to them. Here at the bottom where the grass and the little river is, they kind of blend together, and you can see the tree line has kind of like white in between it, but it just looks like it kind of blends in with the background. Whereas on the black one, in between those trees, it was really more dramatic. So here it's white, it's kind of just faded into those mountains. And here on the black one, you can see that it's a totally different look. I used the same colors. Sorry about the glare, it's really bright. But the that golden color in the trees, it just looks so much different than what I got out of the white paint on the background. So they're both really cool. I thought they were both a neat experiment, neat to see what the black looked like behind it, and then neat to see what the white looked like. I like both of them. So I would try, I didn't realize the black would turn out so cool. I was kind of scared to try the black. I thought maybe it would ruin it, but the black and the Perfect Pearls really do look nice together. So here's where I'm gonna make my last print with this. I'm gonna use a little bit of gold paint to pull a ghost print from what was left on the gel plate. I'm gonna make this a fairly thin layer of paint on this one. This placement tool that I'm using, it's just a handmade one. I actually have a video, I'll link it, of how I made that. It was just using an easel I found at Dollar Tree. I was trying to find something made out of wood that I could kind of create my own little placement tool, and it's been working great for me. Here I'm letting the paint dry again on the plate to the paper. This one obviously is not as dramatic as the other two, but in the light, once you tilt it, you can still see a little bit of the design there. You can see the mountain in the pink there, the green and blue in the foreground, and a little bit of the blue and the purple in the background. So not quite as dramatic, but I think it's still cool nonetheless. I would definitely be using this for background. So I have, this is in the morning light. In my craft room, I have a rainbow catcher on my window, and it was letting in these really cool rainbows, and I wanted to show you what it looked like, these perfect pearls in the rainbow morning light. I thought it was so pretty, and these are so eye-catching. It's amazing to see how pretty these are. So that completes this video, my 3 prints here. I hope you had fun watching, and I hope you give it a try with either the perfect pearls or the gel plate or even a mountain scene. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to give it a like. Happy crafting, y'all.